Good afternoon, viewers. We are going to discuss the age of Shakespeare between 1558 and 1625, particularly university wits. The term university wits was actually given by Sainsbury. The term university wits is applied to a group of scholars who wrote in the closing years of 16th century. They arrived in London from Cambridge and Oxford University and significantly influenced the development of Elizabethan literature. The group included John Lyly, George Peele, Robert Greene, Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Lodge, Thomas Nash, and Thomas Kidd. At the time when the university wits entered the scenario of the English drama, one of the prevailing traditions was the imitation of ancient Roman drama. For example, Courbedac and Ralph Roister Doister. The native tradition at that time was devoid of the artistic excellence of classical Greek and Roman drama. The special quality of the university wits was that although they too looked up in the classical drama and had also woven the general pattern of the drama into their creations, yet they did not imitate it blindly. They gave to the English stage a kind of romantic drama which became a source of inspiration for Shakespeare later on. George Peele, 1558 to 1598, The Arraignment of Paris, written in 1584. It is a romantic comedy. It is a pastoral play in verse. The famous Chronicle of King Edward I, 1593. It is a rumbling chronicle play, The Old Wife's Tale, written in 1591 to 1594. It is a clever satire on the popular drama of the day. The Battle of Alcazar, written in 1594. It is a play in verse. The Love of King David and Fair Bethsabe, written in 1599. It is a play in blank verse. Its sources are mainly scriptural. Verses Polymnia, 1590. It's commemorating the retirement of Sir H. Lee from the office of Queen's Champion. The Honour of the Garter, a gratulatory poem to the Earl of Northumberland. His life and works were edited by C.T. Prouty. Robert Greene, 1558 to 1592. He attacked at length by G. Harvey in 4 letters as the ape of Euphues and Petrarch of shifters. Nash defended in Strange News her inherited more virtues than vices. He calls Shakespeare an upstart crow beautified without feathers. It is a first reference to Shakespeare as a London dramatist. Alphonsus, King of Aragon, is an imitation of Marlowe's Tamburlaine. Fantasto, or the Triumph of Time, it is a prose romance, best known as the source for The Winter's Tale. And Menophon is a prose romance which includes a lot of verse. The Honourable History of Friar Bacon and Friar Bonnke, it is a comedy in verse and prose. Orlando Furioso, written in 1591, is adopted from an English translation of Aristo. And the Scottish History of James IV, it is a non-historical play, a fictionalized romantic comedy. Thomas Nash, 1567 to 1601. Summer's Last Will and Testament, written in 1591, it is a satirical masque. The Unfortunate Traveller, or the Life of Jack Clinton, written in 1594, it is a prose tale of adventure. It is a picaresque novel dedicated to the Earl of Southampton. He finished Marlowe's Dido. Thomas Lodge, 1558 to 1625, he wrote Defense of Poetry, Music and Stage Plays. It is an anonymous reply to Gauzen's School of Abuses, an alarm against Asperus, dedicated to Sydney. The Wounds of Civil War, a chronicle play. Rosalind, Euphues' Golden League, written in 1590. It is a pastoral drama. In this play, he imitated the style of Lyly's. It is written during his voyage to the Gamarines. A Looking Glass for London and England. The play was written in collaboration with Robert Greene. A Fug for Moments. It is a miscellaneous collection of satirical poems, including epistles addressed to Samuel Daniel and Michael Crichton. He collaborated with Shakespeare in Henry VI. Next, Thomas Kidd, 1558 to 1594. The Spanish tragedy, written in 1585. It is a tragedy in blank verse published anonymously in 1592. The political background of the play is loosely related to the victory of Spain over Portugal in 1580, and the play was the prototype of the English revenge tragedy. The play was one of Shakespeare's sources for Hamlet, and the alternative title given to it in 1615, Hieronymo is Mad Again, provided by T.S. Eliot with the penultimate line of The Wasteland. Cornelia is a translation from the French Senecan, Solomon and Persida, written in 1588, and first part of Geronimo, 1592. It is an attempt to write an introductory play to the Spanish tragedy. Christopher Marlowe, 1564 to 1593. George Field called him Morley, the Muse's darling for the West. Shakespeare's early history plays are influenced by Marlowe. Shakespeare's As You Like It is called The Dead Shepherd. Ben Jonson, Marlowe's Mighty Lion. Swinburne, A Boy in Verse, A Man in Genius and Man in Ambition. Tamburlaine the Great, written in 1587, centered on one inhuman figure. It is an episodic play written in blank verse. The second part of Tamburlaine the Great, written in 1588, it is a sequel to Tamburlaine the Great, written in 1587. The Jew of Malta, written in 1589. Barabbas is one of the prototypes for unscrupulous Machiavellian villains. The prologue to the play is spoken by Machiavelli. It is written in blank verse. Infinite riches in a little poem called Barabbas. Edward II was actually taken from Wallenstein's Chronicles. It is a tragedy in blank verse. The play was an important influence on Shakespeare's Richard II. The tragic history of Dr. Faustus, written in 1592. It is a drama in blank verse and prose. Elements of miracle plays, good and evil angels are found in this play. The history of the damnable life and deserved death of Dr. Faustus, Marlowe's play, follows the translation in the general outline of the play. The tragedy of Dido, Queen of Carthage, written in 1593, it is an inferior piece written by Marlowe and Nash. It is closely based on Virgil's Aeneid, depicting Dido's failure to persuade Aeneas to stay with her in Carthage and a subsequent suicide. Massacre at Paris, written in 1593, it is an unfinished play. The play deals with the massacre of Protestants in Paris on St. Bartholomew's Day, 24th August 1572, an event witnessed by Sidney, who was staying in Paris at the time. Its most memorable character is the Machiavellian Duke of Guise, whose high aspiring language seems to have influenced Shakespeare in his early history plays. Thank you very much.